Temple obviously is playing extremely well right now with their third win in conference. Like a lot of teams, was inconsistent in the non-conference, but that was a team that has beaten Villanova, Rutgers, who just beat the number one team in the country. VCU won at East Carolina, beat Cincinnati. Unfortunately, it's also the same team that lost to Maryland, Eastern Shore, and Penn. And Wagner to start the season. But they got two of the best players in the league in Battle and Dunn, and those guys were really good tonight. I thought we did a lot of good things. We didn't take care of the ball as well as you need to take care of the ball. Unfortunately, the foul trouble hurt us a little bit, especially in the first half. We got a little bit out of rhythm because of the foul trouble. But the bottom line is we have to defend better. I said it after the Memphis game. Even though they only shoot 41%, we defended the three well, but we put them to the free throw line 19 times in the second half. I don't count the last two because those were intentional foul. You got to guard the ball better without fouling, and it's just something that we need to get better at because it's an Achilles heel for us right now. Just one-on-one, guard the ball, be in the proper position off the ball, know who you're guarding off the ball, and then again, if you don't guard the ball, you put teams to the free throw line like they were able to do in the second half. They shot, I think, 22 free throws in the second half, and then you also at times give up offensive rebounds, and when you're got to rotate and help, so we got beat on the boards by 3 again tonight. So it's an area that we need to improve in. At the same time, we're in positions in these last 2 games with 5 minutes, 8 minutes, the last 2 rounds of the game where it's a tie game, 1 possession game. So we got to make sure that we continue to dig down and keep getting better in some areas that we need to improve in. And guys, from all of us, you need to make the plays and finish plays at the rim. I think that's another area that's hurt us in the last 2 games.
You're not happy with the defense, obviously. Was it a communication issue? Because they throw a lot of ball screens at you. We're talking to the players about that. Do you feel the team communicated well tonight on defense?
Yeah, the ball screen stuff did not create the drives tonight. We did, they got a couple slips on the ball screens. A lot of the drives, in particular in the second half, was just snap the ball and you got to guard the ball one-on-one. You know what I mean? So the ball screen coverage, guards are going to get, you play tempo, you're going to guard 50 ball screens during the game. So guards got to get into the ball and get over the top of the ball screen. And one of the things that happens is Russ is so good at ball screen coverage that it takes some of the pressure off the guards. But we got to get better on the perimeter of not playing because we got that safety behind us in Russell. You know what I mean? So we got to just get tougher, more physical on the ball without fouling.
Speaking of Russ, he's been playing well lately, posted career highs tonight in points and rebounds. Can you talk about his
I think the most impressive thing for Russell was 2 things. One, bounce back after a poor game. He didn't play as well as he's capable of playing. But even in that game at Memphis, offensively he wasn't as good, but it showed a growth. He still gets 10 rebounds for us. You know what I mean? And he didn't have as good a first half tonight. Didn't finish plays. Balance was off around the basket. Ended up on the floor 3, 4, 5 times. You know what I mean? Just talked to him about halftime about slowing down, catching the ball, reading the defense first, not being in a hurry. And to his credit, he played a great second half for us. 20 and 12, he was tremendous on the offensive glass. He's getting really good at reading where the drives are coming from and getting away from the ball. That gives him position to rebound. So he was very, very good today. He was very good today. And you just, again, you see mile markers of how he responds to different things as signs of his growth. And I thought he responded to a frustrating first half offensively, where I think he was playing more to get fouled as opposed to finish plays. And that's an area that we from top to bottom, we gotta do a better job of finishing plays at the rim. You know, and if we don't finish them, then it's gotta be because we're getting fouled. And we're not creating contact. We're going away from contact. And we're not finishing plays at the rim as well as you need to finish. And as well as we're getting into the paint, we're not getting as much out of it as we need to get out of it. And when you're talking about a 2-point game or a 4-point game, those are critical plays.
Temple turns it over 12 times in the first half. It looked like, just a lot of unforced errors. You only get 4 points off those turnovers in the first half. Turn it over 18, you only get 8 points off the turnovers. Just, what do you have to do to kind of be able to make sure to take advantage?
Well, a couple things. Okay, again, this is where the stat book sometimes gets you screwed up. A lot of those pedestrians were getting hit with the ball. So you can't score on that. You know what I mean? Second thing is our activity level defensively, our hands have improved. So we're getting our hands on a lot of different things. Third point, we are not taking advantage of open court situations like we need to. And that's the point you're trying to make, which is right on the money. When we have advantage break situations, we need to finish those plays. And we were sloppy in some of those plays, in particular, too, in the start of the second half. You can't work that hard on defense, get a deflection, create a steal, whatever the case might be, and not make them pay on the other end if it's a live ball turnover. You know what I mean? And it doesn't always have to be a layup. You have an advantage break, that means they're in a scramble, so you got to keep that thing moving. And there was some times where if we didn't get the first action, we just held on to the ball. That's when that ball has to go zip, zip and get to the reversal side, and now you got Russell in the post, so you got a drive opportunity. And those are areas of growth that we need to make because, as you said, you can't force 18 turnovers and only get, as you said, 8 points off those turnovers. You guys have heard me say this enough. You can't get 13 offensive rebounds and only have 11 second chance points. You know what I mean? When you get those offensive rebounds, you need to either finish that play or you kick it out because that's a great time to get an open three because the guys who are back are now rushing back into the play and they're not going to be guarded. For example, that last play, the first shot's blocked, the second one's blocked. You probably need to kick that thing out before you take a third one. You know what I mean? And that's the maturity and growth that as guys are playing a more impactful role that they need to grow in.
You mentioned the foul trouble in your opener. Tyler gets 2 fouls, only plays 5 minutes in the first. Picks up 2 in the second half. Fouled out the other night at Memphis.
Yep.
He's had 3 fouls, at least 3 in his last 4 games. What does he have to do to kind of stay out of that foul trouble, especially early?
I think a lot of times it's off the ball concentration and focus. You know what I mean? Being in the right position. And if he got one in the second half where the guy kind of starts backing him in, he's got to trust the other 4 guys to help him on that, make him score over him. So I think those are he's not getting a lot on the ball, you know what I mean, in terms of fouls on the ball. It's usually off the ball, where human nature, the further you are away from the ball, the more you relax. The problem is that's bad defense. And good defensive teams, the further you are away from the ball, the more active you are, because you got to do a lot of different things there. And so that's different for him. That's different, to be honest with you. So defensively, it's an entire new mentality. And again, I think one thing that he's been able to do is pick up the ball full court and hound the other point guard, where he can use his quickness and where his size doesn't become a disadvantage. And then when you get in foul trouble, you're a little hesitant to do that because you don't want to get a cheap one 80 feet away from the basket. So we gotta tighten up off the ball so he can continue to pressure on the ball.
Coach, there were two moments in the second half that maybe should have been able to spark something. Keyshawn's dunk didn't make it to 53-51, and then they score almost immediately. And then Tyler's three to make it, I think it was 60-58 with 3:50 left in the game. Just another quick, what could have been a momentum shifter. What needs to kind of click on that following possession? Because it seems like at least tonight and over the last year or so, that's kind of been you get this massive opportunity, you take the lead, you get the crowd going, and then just automatically the defense kind of falls off there.
Yeah, I mean, and that's from the opening statement. That's the time you need to dig down. You know what I mean? That's when you got to dig down and get another stop and get a rebound. I don't know the exact basket, what happened on the play after Keyshawn's basket. I think when we were up three after Tyler, again, I think both of them were drives to the basket. We were just, it wasn't they didn't run a set, they didn't run anything. It was just, I'm going downhill on you. And so, that ability to understand the importance of that possession and really being disciplined on the defensive end is going to be critical for us, because you're going to get in those quite a bit, especially in this league where, I think there's a lot of good teams and everybody's jostling for, obviously Houston has proven himself as the best team, and everybody else is jostling for who's going to be the next 3 or 4.
I guess another question.
Sure.
Free throws continue to kind of be the issue. 11-19 under the season average tonight. Free throws, turnovers seem to be the bigger difference tonight outside of the defense. What can be done there as we get deeper into conference season?
Well, I mean, I thought Russell shot good from the line. 8 for 11 is good. Tyler's 2 for 3. Chap 1 for 2. We didn't shoot a lot, only 19. 0 for 2 for Selton in the first half. Keyshawn got fouled on that one and didn't finish. We're overall, again, to get that percentage up, we got to shoot more. You know what I mean? You got to get to the free throw line more. But after 12 games or whatever amount of games, 14 games, whatever it is, we're going to shoot between 65 and 75. So we have to just keep putting in the time and make sure that's, the other night we shot really well from the free throw line. And in the 2 conference games, we've had, too many turnovers. And today's the turnovers and the points off turnovers. Again, it's just crazy how it works. They had more turnovers than we did, but they had 17 points off our turnovers. In the Memphis game, for the novice watching, they're going to say it was the turnovers that did you in. They only had 20 points off our turnovers the other night. We had 19. Wasn't the difference in the game, the turnovers. Now, we had a couple critical ones, but it wasn't the turnovers. It was that they shot 58% from the floor. What ends up happening is the free throw and the turnovers become highlighted because of not getting the defensive stops or fouling too much. So we can keep getting better at the free throw line. Guys that are good shooters like Selton, gotta put those 2 in early in the game. Just got in, we gotta put those in.
Anything else?